It's the season premiere for a show that is only preempted once in a goddamn blue moon. Nevertheless, I'm John Renton with my review WWE Smackdown, the season premiere, until it goes to USA Network next year. For a shit pot full of money, they're from Tulsa, Oklahoma, shrieking Bill Watts noises. Man, Bill Watts would have absolutely lost his shit if this program was on his television. And Leroy McGurk wouldn't have seen it because he was a blind racist son of a bitch that deserved to burn in hell. Anyway, enough about the Mid-South wrestling territory and stuff before that. Let's talk about SmackDown. Fastlane is in the rear view rear. I think that's how that goes. And we're speeding towards Crown Jewel that now has Roman Reigns against L.A. Knight. Yeah. And the only reason I'm reviewing this is because people asked me to. You know what? There are a couple noteworthy things to talk about, but don't expect me to review SmackDown on the regular. In fact, don't expect me to review a lot of WWE programming on the regular because it's getting to where you're having to cherry pick things that are worth talking about. That being said, it wasn't even that this was a bad show. It's just the laborious nature or laborious nature. Let's just make up words. Because they're making up something that is supposed to constitute a wrestling program despite not featuring all that much wrestling on their show. Whoop-a-doo, it's John Cena. Here's Roman, Solo, and Heyman, who dyed his hair because the tribal queef is back. John Boy. Good night, Mary Ellen. Good night, John Boy. Good night, John Boy. Damn it, can't a guy masturbate in peace? Anybody that gets that, I love you guys. So, Cena says, I would try to challenge you, but I haven't earned it. And you've held the championship for 1,100 some odd days. That's a big goddamn deal. And I haven't earned it, but I know someone who has. And here's L.A. Knight. Yeah, they go back and forth. L.A. Knight says, you don't show up all that often. You're standing in my way. I'm going to win the championship. Roman laughs it off. Oh, I left for a couple months and now because they're chanting your name. You think you can challenge me? It was what it was. And Jim Uso showed up. He got tossed and Roman leaves. And that was about the first 15 or so minutes of the program. And then we get back and we have the Brutes against Pretty Deadly. Okay, no. Just fucking no. Pretty Deadly won. I'm glad that whichever Pretty Deadly member was injured has recovered. I don't want them to be injured or incapacitated, but I hate them on an almost spiritual level because they're goofy. They're a terrible tag team. They're bad for tag team wrestling. As characters, that's all I gotta say. So, Kayla was just in her bathrobe on television. Not that you're going to hear me complain because she's a beautiful woman. And, it just looked like a bathrobe as far as an interview outfit. Here's Carlito. And then Lashley's there. Carlito is the younger of the two. That is off-putting to me. And then the Profits attack Carlito. Oh no, Colon being on the receiving end of a backstage attack instead of implementing one at a Puerto Rican wrestling show. Shrieking Bruiser Brody noises. Call an ambulance. God, I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. Pierce then yells at Selena and Bayley to get away from Carlito and go have a match. Tells Charles Robinson, go have a match. Jim Uso's explained himself to Roman. I'm the backup quarterback. You're this, and he really doesn't need the bloodline. And quite frankly, I don't think television needs the bloodline anymore. I really think that by Mania, which seems like so far away, we need to end it. Just end the bloodline. We do not need it anymore. If you guys think you need it, fine. I'm just saying, I think that we have gotten to where television doesn't need that. They definitely don't need Judgment Day. We need to dissolve this stuff. Have a good central focus on something, but it's got to be interesting. This stuff's played out. God damn it, EO. I need her to channel Famke Johnson from GoldenEye. That's another story for another day. Zelina lost to Bayley. Hit the shortest 619 in history. Almost as short as Zelina, who can walk under the bottom rope without ducking. And yeah, the rose plant. There you go. Charlotte then returns, hobbling out there because she's in heels and a bodysuit that is constricting her very breathing and the breathing of the first row around her somehow. And then we get Triple H out there with Pierce, and he praises Pierce, says Pierce has done a great job. He's getting a promotion to Raw, be the GM of Raw. But the GM of SmackDown is Nick Aldis, who's been shadowing as a producer for the last month or so, I believe, or maybe 2 months. He left the NWA a while ago. That's good because he carried that goddamn company on his back, that brand on his back. All due respect to the hardworking people there like Tim Storm and others. But Aldis was the guy, and he put up with a lot of Corgan shit, and now he's in a company that sure has its problem people, but at least he's getting, hopefully, quite a bit of goddamn money. He's the new GM. No one knew who the fuck he was. That's nothing against Nick Aldis. I like Nick Aldis. They probably should run video packages and say, hey, this is who Nick Aldis is. Maybe don't get any footage from the NWA, all due respect, because they were wrestling in shoeboxes, but ask Impact if they can use some footage and stuff like that. Here's Dominic. He says, I was a big fan of your dad. Oh, ho, 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 oh, ho, ho. And they mock the fact that people think they turn the mics down. And here's my mic, Triple H says. And, oh, that stuff's really, really loud. I don't know what they are or aren't doing. I don't care. Dominic was getting, tons of booze. I felt like drinking tons of booze, having to deal with Dominic. And I do have a question on where did all this come from? Like, he was just literally right over there. He was just literally just standing there. He didn't even come out. Didn't have video package or anything prepared. So there was a trade. So Jey Uso is on Raw. Who's coming to SmackDown? It's Kevin Owens. All that build of Kevin Owens and Sammy getting back together to win the tag titles. Now that's all eroded. I mean, if they want to give each of them one final single run, that's fine. Zayn can go after championships. Owens can go after championships because they're both around the same goddamn age. They both have injuries, and I don't think they have a lot of time left before they're just going to be trainers and whatever. Owens has even said he doesn't have a lot of time left. He might be able to last till WrestleMania 41, if that. And maybe he's going to go after Roman. Maybe he'll be the one to deep throat Roman Reigns, except he won't be because we know who that's going to be. And then he hits a stunner on Dominic. I thought it was going to stunner Nick Aldis. So, okay, Kevin Owens, maybe he'll go after the U.S. title. Who the fuck's the U.S. champion? Rey Mysterio's, beat Rey for perpetrating and, putting Dominic on our television screen. Roman is upset at all this, everything. He's just upset everybody. Upset Jim Uso for sitting on his couch drinking his water. Aldis is with Chelsea Green and Pipper Nevin. And then they're interrupted by Charlotte. Aldis says, look, all that stuff that happened at Fastlane, the referee's distracted, you should have won. You're getting a shot at EO next week. And then suddenly, Jade is on the screen. And it's Jade and Charlotte. There's a lot of hair extensions going on there. People are losing their mind over this Jade stuff. We need to see her work for a while, folks, because she really wasn't getting a ton. She wasn't getting a ton worse on AEW programming, but she wasn't getting a ton better. Maybe with the training in WWE's PC, she'll get better. She couldn't have gotten any worse, but let's temper our expectations. So, Jay and Cody make their entrances. They face Waller in Theory in a match that certainly existed. Waller is there to provide the personality because Theory has none, and the Crossroads, after the code 1D something or other, whatever, 1, 2, 3, Theory got pinned. Solo and Jim Uso confront Cody and Jay, and then Roman stares Cody down. And great, we're going to finish the story. A story that I wasn't invested in, and I had my goddamn Joker arc because Cody lost in front of Brandy, in front of his kid. It's Brandy's fault for thinking that she belonged in wrestling. So it was hilarious. Next week, so we got Io and Charlotte. I think we have Santos and Montez. Excuse me. By the way, allergies are a goddamn bitch. I'm not going to review next week. I just can't. Unless, the views just spike up on SmackDown reviews back to where they were before. But I fear that Charlotte is going to beat Io. That is what really, really worries me. And if she doesn't, they're going to do something fluky to keep Charlotte in chase mode, because they literally can't give the title shot to anyone else because there aren't enough deserving women on SmackDown, evidently. Knight and Solo had a match that was fine. We have very, very bright lights, and the lights not going out in Tulsa because they were shining upon the ring, and then it was glowing like Knight and Solo were translucent, and that's all I gotta say about Journey. And the crowd was into it. Later, Jim Uso tries to run in. Cena runs in, hits an AA, and then LA Knight hits the BFT 1, 2, 3. And then Roman spears Knight. And that's it for that. That's it right there. There you go. We are done. Next SmackDown review, who knows? Agree, disagree what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. Season premiere of Smackdown is through. See you soon.